What's up, everybody? Sports and Layers, episode 12. It is April 23rd or 22nd. Let's jump right in. We already started discussing what was it, Celtics and their struggles. They're up 2-1. Y'all want to jump back in with what we were saying earlier?
Nah, just stop playing with your food, man. Like, don't play with your food. Step on their throats while you can. The longer you extend the series, the more any injuries, bullshit.
I agree. Let's see who. So let me pull up these picks. I think me and D had them in 5. What is
Yeah.
it? Yeah, me. Oh, yeah, me, you, and TG. Oh, Rick had him getting swept. Um, but it's funny because now, Rick is coming back in. It's kind of funny because like now a lot of the conversation this postseason has come up, and I think it's been messed up that the organization leaked the news they're willing to shop Trae Young. But like now, you got the Athletic coming out that post that Rick shared calling Trae Young the most overrated. So if
Mhm.
anything, they're kind of adding fuel to the fire for this series. I mean, do I think it's going to change, make it a 6 or 7 game series? No, but I mean, it's good to see Trey and the guys step up because him and I guess DeJounte Murray, they scored like the last 9 field goals, 24 of the last 25 points, and that's sending a message to me.
Hey, dude, we wasn't getting stops. I mean, yeah, credit to them for not laying down, I guess. You know, easily could have, especially amid all the allegations and whatnot. So yeah, they're professional basketball players, man. You know, shit happens.
So right, damn, I got to do a point system. What
Get out of her, let her eat.
any other thoughts? Anything with betting or gambling for that? Because I actually lost money on them Celtics losing. I thought they were gonna cover the spread, and I just didn't happen.
What was it?
It started out 5.5, but it was like it went from 4.5 to 5.5. Um,
Wow.
but I mean, I just sort of stuck with my gut. That was the game I thought the Hawks would win coming in. But then I just got caught up in the numbers, seeing like, oh, the Celtics dominated at home. But
I'm
yeah,
not gonna lie. I live bet them while they were down, like, and
you too.
that obviously didn't work out.
So,
I mean, it was decent odds at that point. So that happens.
all right. So what I'm gonna do, just so y'all know, with our tracking of points, if you had the right team, it's 10 points. If you had the right number of games, 20 points, because it's harder to pick the games. Or 15 points, let's say. Okay. Can we dive in anything else y'all want to share about the Celtics? Anything that you think maybe that might have went over the normal person's head or might have not caught the normal person's eye? I mean, Brogdon won 6 man of the year. So, hats off to him. But
Rick here.
is it yeah, he's here. Rick. Yo, Rick, you good? It says he's muted. Yeah,
No,
he's
I'm good. No, I mean, I just think that that I think that Jalen's stitches are hindering
mm,
his ability.
mm,
What a terrible time.
mm.
Even if the story of whatever the it's just like a worse time for you to get if you got stitches in your leg or whatever, it just your hand when you're talking about what you're a pitcher, quarterback, uh, a wide receiver, whatever the case is, like, that's where you really need your hands. And you're talking about being a basketball player, that's how you score, that's how you dribble, all of that. So
Yeah.
him having that certain him stitches in his hand is definitely hindering. Hopefully, as time goes on, it becomes, it doesn't become a detriment to him. But I feel it's been hindering them the last couple games. Their defense, they just, ultimately couldn't get stops. I mean, you saw they got close, a couple of times in the second half, and they, couldn't can keep the momentum, and they gave it right back. I mean, you gotta just tip your hats off to the Hawks. I mean, I think last year they did the same thing to the Heat, and a team's gonna come out and they're gonna battle. They're gonna come out but it's all about you taking control of the series. So, my expectations is for them to take this gut punch and come out focused. They got Atlanta's best swing and come out and just close them out on Tuesday. Finish them, close them out tomorrow. I mean, win tomorrow, close them out on Tuesday.
Yeah, and if we just like touch on that injury real quick, he needed 5 stitches because he cut his hand picking up a glass vase that he dropped. So like dealing with armoring.
Y'all believe that?
I mean,
what do you?
yeah, it just seems like a knucklehead injury. I feel like there's freak accidents that happen all the time. Personally, like I'll be doing something in the crib.
What?
You might swing a door open and bang your knee or something, and
What-
be like, I'll be
what-
thinking like, damn,
what
this
you-
is how athletes have these like boneheaded injuries.
Yeah.
But it happens. I believe it. It just maybe it is something to cover up something different, but either way, it just seems like a knuckleheaded injury. It just happens. You don't believe it?
I mean, one time, because I don't know if you know the Ninja blenders, I picked it up because they have like them sharp ass blades, and I cut myself.
Okay.
I just think that like a lot of times some people be looking at athletes like they like, oh, that didn't really happen. Like I woke up one time and I sneezed and my back tightened up. Like I sneezed and my back tightened up. And this isn't me in my 30s. This is me in my 20s. And it happened to me. So I just think that like people like, what the fuck is that? Nah, he's covering up from some bullshit. And people always is seeking something else. And I just think that sometimes, I mean, I'm not saying that he couldn't, he may be lying about something, but sometimes there's a lot of things that we do where shit can happen. And I don't know. But it's just terrible timing. Like, why couldn't this happen, a month ago or something?
Right. If it was gonna happen.
Yeah. I was like, I've been preaching being healthy. I've been preaching playoff health, all the time. And not even just you being available, is that you being good. Like, I don't want you out there 65% of yourself. And this isn't like a broken hand or whatever, ankle or injury or whatever, but it's still, affecting your ability with the ball.
It's too hot.
Did he get it? He got it before the series, right?
Yeah.
That's why he was out the last 2 games.
Okay, yeah.
So it's been about 2 weeks.
I mean, his numbers aren't terrible. He had 29, then he had 18 and 18. The 18 points came off of 7 to 14 shooting, but clearly that's not what he was doing in the regular season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. If he plays his game, they don't. If he plays his game, they don't. Whether Trey and Murray go off, they still lose it. They still lose that game. So, but hopefully it's gonna get better and they come out with a more of an edge tomorrow night. I will say this. I have a question for Dell.
Yeah.
I understand you took away home court, but did Tuesday feel like a squandered opportunity?
For the Lakers?
Yes.
Um uh I want to say yes. I mean, at the end of the day, you're right. We achieved what we went down there for, which is like, I we stole a whole home game, but it's like their star player is out. It's kind of the same thing in my eyes. I'm like, yo, let's take these dudes out. Like, let's take both of those games. Now we lose a game. Now you got a Dylan Brooks out here playing villain and trolling. And just like clearly getting LeBron mad. I don't think that's gonna like disrupt his game, but it's like I don't understand how we can go pull it out. I mean, we battled in a good game. I think now we gotta wipe the floor with them game 3, but it did feel like a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I looked at it and it was a missed opportunity to take full control of the series. Going up 2-0, going back home,
Right.
And you look at it and you say, playoff game, Ja's not playing. Yeah, we got to come and we gotta wipe the floor with them. Opposite happens. You gave the role players, confidence, and granted they have more confidence at home than they more so have on the road. But I just looked at it and said this was a perfect opportunity as far as for the Lakers to go up 2-0, especially with Ja, being out. And I think that opportunity was squandered because now you look at the situation is if they, take a game, either 3 or 4, now you're back in that predicament where you was now, and now you have to win on the road again.
Right. Now it's looking like a 7-game series. Like
that's exactly. Exactly. So I just think that a lot of times people, they say, oh, this is not a must win, but when you start to look back at it, and if it's a 7-game series or the Lakers do end up losing, you may look back at that game too and say, damn, we messed up an opportunity to really maybe finish this out earlier than what we should have, or we was eliminated because we didn't do that.
It's funny because speaking of opportunities, there's been a lot of injuries and suspensions throughout the league. How do y'all feel about the Kings not winning the game? Draymond got suspended, and then like the general, the Draymond situation, but the general injuries going on, because I feel like this year in particular, there's been so many injuries to start off the first round of the playoffs. I don't know if that's an overreaction, but it just feels like every series has a major injury so far.
Shit, Ja's always getting hurt in the playoffs. That's like clockwork for him. I don't know why. Maybe I guess. Well, the style of play.
Yeah,
the style of play. Style of play. Him and Giannis is style of play. Don't blame.
Like Ja was up like maybe 11 feet in the air, and then you're coming down and you fall on your wrist. Like
you have no plan on where you're landing. You're just trying to boom on somebody, and that's your fault.
And the style of play between Ja Morant, you go with Giannis, is why they are hurt. It's not because of a charge. People, you should take away the charge play. That's silly nonsense. That's not the reason why. Is their style of play is more susceptible to them getting hurt. Period. Point blank. The same reason why Zion is always hurt is because his style of play is like that. It's just like that bruising running back is always going to be nicked up because he goes for contact. He isn't a elusive guy who can get down, get out of bounds, or know how to protect himself. Where the guys, and that's why the shelf life for those set of running backs are relatively short. You just look at that's why These type of guys, like as far as in you're going in, like D said, you're trying to boom on somebody, so you're always trying to dunk, and that style is puts so much more strain on your knees, your
Yep.
legs,
All that.
and you just think about like guys like Giannis, he's consistently banging with guys, whether it's in the
Right.
post, but then you're driving into lanes and then you're getting contact and stuff like that. So you're going to have injuries are going to sit there and happen. I would say this is the issue, like as far as in like, okay, Kawhi, I seen he's ruled out for game 4, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
As
and
well.
Embiid's ruled out too. So
So
you got
so all right. So the question I have with Kawhi is what the fuck are we doing with load management?
damn.
Does that mean anything? Or like what do we
Right. Like you load
like
manage all season to be able to play in the playoffs, and now you got load manage again.
that I mean, is there something where like I seen an issue where um you know Kemba Walker was just done when you couldn't play if you can't play in the playoffs. Is it son to say that like you can't be that guy anymore? Like you can't because like you said, Dell, if you're supposed if the logic of load management is for you to play in the playoffs, the games are every other day. For the most part, you got breaks. You don't have back to backs. You have days to rest,
Right.
and so I just look at it and say you're low. Like I don't understand. I don't understand the object of load management. If you can't play in the playoffs. Also, the management as far as with the Clippers, it was just like, why did he play game 2? I just look at it like
Yeah, because
if
he
he was
had a
gonna
knee
miss 2 games,
sprain. Yeah, like
huh?
aggravated. Yeah, because he had a knee sprain that he aggravated at the end of game 1.
Yeah. So if this was the case, I look at the management for the Clippers and say, all right, if he's gonna miss a game, all right, let's let him miss game 2. We took the opportunity in game 1. We stole home court. You know what we're gonna do? Let's rest him and let's see what he looks like. Let's see how the knee responds before game 3. Okay, he can't play game 3. At least let's see if he can play game 4. You would have rather that, and then you're talking about okay, you're down 2-1, but at least you still have Kawhi coming back for game 4. But now you're looking down, potentially going back to Phoenix down 3-1.
Right. How you feel about Joel Embiid? Because he also has a sprained knee.
Wait, hold on real quick. Kawhi, how much years is left on his deal?
Let's see.
Anybody know? Like off the top, I don't know.
Okay.
Cause I'm like, is anybody giving him another deal? Like not like another max deal? Like I don't. How could you?
I don't know if you can trust him enough.
Hell no.
There's no way you can trust him.
I'm not paying him.
So what is it? It says I'm seeing his contract looks like it's got 2 more years, 45 mil in 2023, 24, and then 48 mil, almost 49 mil the year after that.
Okay. He has an opt out. Not that he would, but
I don't know. Let me see. I keep reading.
Yeah.
It's a 4-year, $176 million contract.
You kind of look at the Spurs and
yeah, it does have.
Okay, you look at the Spurs and maybe the Spurs was more so like you're not as hurt and you can play, and maybe he was pissed off, turned off by that notion. Oh, they're forcing me to play when. Future, when you're looking back in the past, it's just like, I don't I don't know what it stands to do. Like, yo, load, like you sitting out these games or whatever the case is, isn't gonna stop an injury from happening.
Hmm.
And now you look at it, it's like the Clippers load management, and he's still out. So it's just like, at what point, like, what is the, how can you cure this?
Yeah,
Yeah, that turned the tide of the whole series.
I went from thinking like it was gonna be a competitive series to they're probably not gonna win another game.
Yeah.
You might as well be throwing in the towel, though. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
at
you
this
can't play your
point.
best guy and your second best guy is hurt too. Like, that's pretty wild. That's a lot to ask from Russell Westbrook, but he damn sure is trying.
Norman Norman Powell, he had like 40 something.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
think he
lot.
had 33 in the last game. Did he have 40?
I think he had 41.
It's a lot to ask for your role players.
Yeah, role
Period.
guys. Role guys. Like, I mean, they're good role guys, but they're role guys.
Yeah, it's a lot to ask. You guys, basically are fun. Like, I don't know. It just begs the question as far as in this whole theory basis around load management.
Damn,
It
yeah.
begs the question.
It's crazy.
It begs the question. Like, I just sound like a broken record, but it's just like your load management. If you're supposed to play in the playoffs, and is he more hurt than he has to be more hurt than people are saying he is?
That dude was just that dude was weird.
Yeah, and then I look at the the Kings. I mean the Warriors. They held. I mean the Warriors held serve. I mean this is experience one. This is the Kings first road playoff game.
Yeah.
They went to a hostile. You knew after game two, it was going to be very hostile. It's going to be loud. So, the Warriors came out. They responded. Kudos to their defense. They held the Kings under 100 points.
Without Draymond.
Yeah, without Draymond. But I will say that, like, when you do look at the injury, I mean, I just look at,
You mean the suspension for that one, right?
The suspension, yes, my bad, the suspension. I know I was like a bit, like, at the end of the day, this is where your past transgressions, come back to haunt you. You look at Draymond, and he's an agitator. He does he totes the line all the time.
Right.
And like I just look at a lot of Warrior fans, and I just sit there and I say, seriously, like. They sit here and they complain. Like, in one breath, you can't cry about Marcus Smart diving for a loose ball, but because then he rolls under Steph Curry and then defend Draymond. It makes no sense. You can't defend this guy who's shooting, he's shooting the ball or whatever, or passing the ball, and then he makes a notion and kicks Steven Adams in the nuts. He's
the nutcracker.
And then he gets suspended in an NBA Finals series because he wants to hit people in the groin.
Right.
And then he's in the finals last year and he's boxing out, basically putting Jason Tatum in a headlock. and then he's like pulling Jaylen Brown's pants down.
Yeah, I remember
that. And he's like, at what point do you
stomping dudes out? You stomping dudes in the front? Like,
yeah.
How you stomping somebody in a basketball game, bro? What?
At what point do you sit there and say, "Yo, this dude has to chill," instead of sitting there being like, "Oh, this is whatever," like, "Oh, that's
playing on the edge."
Yeah, like, yo,
Kirk Franklin.
but playing on the edge comes with, like, there's some things that you sit there and you do, and you're just like, all right, yo, yo, you play on the edge, but sometimes you got to hold your guys accountable. And you can't, I don't want to hear complaining about other stuff. And you should play more safer. But when you're up, you have a guy on your team that does the same thing or worse, and you defend and you champion that, you have to come with it. You reap what you sow. So
yeah, and I just want to add to that because people try and throw out the narrative, oh, the NBA and the Warriors gave away that series to the Cavs because Draymond got suspended. That was a gift from the NBA. He earned that. He signed up and earned that, kicking several dudes in the nuts throughout the playoffs. Like, there needs to be accountability for him to chill. He got suspended, and they didn't pull through and win without him. Like, that's on him. They didn't have a problem beating the Kings without Draymond. I don't see this. Like, if they lose this, there's no excuse for them to lose the series because of that Draymond suspension. But people act like LeBron got a gift of a ring because of the suspension in the finals, which Draymond should have been suspended before the finals because he was already wilding with kicks and getting away with it through other rounds. So
he got suspended for the Adams shit. That was egregious. Like, come on. Like, I don't know how he did.
Was he suspended for? Oh, you're saying he should have been suspended for the Adams one, right? Yeah. Because I think that was like close to him. I think that was one technical before the suspension, so they started pulling the whistle, and I think he did like one more kick or something. It was just wild.
So what do you think about the excuses that people are portraying that Sabonis grabbed him and that's why he did what he did?
I mean, yeah, he did. There is you got all you have the little back and forth going on. And I think there was kind of like, if I'm remembering correctly, there were like two parts to the stomp. So it's like when he's grabbing your leg, okay, you can get away with the sly little stomp and stumble if you want to play that off. But like he goes as far as like the jump up kick. Like, I don't know. Like, that's where like you could have played it off a lot smoother and still done some damage. But like you had to go. I don't even know what that's called. Like, you literally jumped man's body.
You went. What you were describing at first was kind of like a step. It was like, a step where like a stomp is, a stomp is lifting. A stomp is lifting up.
It was a stomp.
He stomped a fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin mud hole.
Right.
No, but my whole thing though is that like, I don't like. I can see a perspective where you say maybe he tried to grab him, but to be honest, I looked at a guy falling to the ground and he was bracing him, like he was covering his face. And in the midst of it, when you're with bodies like Draymond's legs get caught, I don't think that he was intentionally trying to hold him. But even with that said, we've seen plenty of times of guys who hold, and guys may trip up, fall, etc. And I don't see guys saying, okay, this is my opportunity to just stomp on you. And a lot of times we see in sports, period, when you retaliate, guess what happens? You the one that's gonna get caught for it.
Right. Yeah.
You're the one
elementary school throwing paper balls.
Yeah, you're gonna one that's gonna get caught. You're gonna get caught. So my whole thing though was that like he couldn't keep his emotions in check. And you saw it clearly after that. He was,
Sabonis, as he should, is trying to bait him. I would fucking I'm trying to bait the shit out of him.
Like, honest, go ahead, D.
No, I'm just saying I got no issue with Sabonis whatsoever. Nothing.
What you think about like that foul call they called on Draymond, but then the Warriors challenged it and they took it back, like the out of bounds play? What'd you think of that?
I'm trying to hold on. I don't think
so. It was a play where, because Draymond had 4 fouls at that time. There was a bucket made, and then Sabonis is like coming from out of bounds. He inbounds the ball, and he's like making his way back into the inbound. And Draymond was there and kind of butt checks him, and then they fall. I think that should have been a foul that stayed. Like,
So
it
what
wasn't
did
really.
what did they rule?
So they ruled it a foul, but then the Warriors challenged, and then they reversed it.
Okay. Yep. I thought it should have stayed as it was. I gotta say it again, but
yeah, I think it goes to your point though. I think Sabonis like wisely baited him and got the foul call, but then they took it off. And I mean, this kind of going back to the Draymond stomp, like you don't help yourself by hyping up the crowd when the refs are going over the play. Like Shannon Sharp was mentioning, it's like why every time this dude gets ejected, he got to go Hulk Hogan and hype up the crowd and swearing at the crowd. Like, bro, sit on the side, let them review the play, sit there and behave like a normal citizen. And then if you kicked out, get out. Like, you think it's gonna you think it helps your chances by hyping up the crowd and acting like you got over one? Like, I don't know. I just thought that was foolish.
yeah, I definitely think that if there was any chance of him not being suspended, I think that went out the window with all that theatrics and all that.
Okay, we spoke about the Draymond suspension, the playoff reactions. I mean, any series surprising y'all so far? I mean, just another injury, the Tyler Hero injury as well. That Miami Bucks series seems to be impacted huge by injuries. I think that's the only other one we didn't discuss, but yeah.
Is it fair to say that Giannis, well, Tyler Hero's injury is much bigger to the Heat than Giannis?
I can't go to. I mean, it depends. If you're talking about overall, then yeah, because let's say most likely, well, we don't know when Giannis is coming back, but if Giannis can come back this series, let's say he misses 3 games, then like I agree, Tyler Hero being out for the postseason is bigger. But if Giannis is out this series, I would argue it's just as equal. Especially if this turns into a 7-game series, something we thought was going to be, most of us thought was going to, damn, actually not. We were saying 5, 6, 7. Wow.
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah, what do you think?
I think that his injury is, when you look at the Heat, I mean, where else is the scoring coming from? You have Jimmy and everybody else. I mean, I can't sit there. I can't say Bam is just like, yo, he's a lock to give you 20 and 10.
You can't pencil Bam in for 20.
You can't. No, you can't.
Which is crazy because you would think with his game and all that.
You could simply say, you should say Bam's gonna give you 20 and 10. Period. You should sit there and say that, and he should be, but he's not. You know Jimmy's gonna come to play. The rest of them, you're just very unsure. Yeah. And that's why I just look at it, when they already were an iffy team, period, and then you take away another key part of their team, now it looks grimmer. It looks like, all right, where's the scoring gonna come from?
Do y'all still? Honestly, I think Miami takes it tonight. I don't know about y'all. If y'all got Miami taking this.
Is Giannis playing?
Good question. I don't think he is. Let me see. Go in the world. I feel like certain games are easy money. Like the Lakers, I feel like they got this one. I'm heavy on my bets today for the Lakers. The spread's -4. Like that first home game, the way they've been playing, they're taking that.
Are you picking them to cover the 4?
Yeah, I'm picking them to cover the 4. I'm picking them to cover the first quarter, cover the first half. These are different bets. I'm not. Yeah, I got them in different bets, but I have them winning.
Giannis is questionable.
Yeah,
he's but like it's a back injury, so
I think he'll be out.
Yeah, the back injury. Yeah, so
But I
he's
think honestly, I think Miami's winning their first home game either way. I think it's gonna be like I think I don't know. I think this series, like people are saying how bad Miami looked in the last game, but I don't know. It's playoff Jimmy. I think they're gonna have the home crowd hyping them up. I think they win this one tonight.
Oh, I'm struggling with that one. I like them to definitely cover. I think they should cover.
What is it? 5.5 plus 5.5 Miami.
I saw +5, but probably on other things 5.5.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't feel extremely confident either way. I don't know what Miami's showing up. I don't know what Bucks.
Perhaps.
Bucks have the better team,
Right.
even without Giannis. I mean, they got, I mean, even though Middleton isn't Middleton of old, I mean, I guess he's still
He's been balling.
effective. The bigs, they got the size. They got size pretty much everywhere across the board. So I don't know. That's a tough one for me. That's a tough one. Especially with Hero out. I don't know.
Do y'all think can we talk about Chris Middleton? Do y'all think he is washed? That's been a topic that's come up in our chat a couple times.
yes.
I don't think you can rely on him to like carry your team down. Like if they're relying on, like, let's say, it comes down to Celtics Bucks, all right, and Middleton is not gonna carry them in that series down the stretch like he would, like Tatum or Brown is shutting his shit down. Like maybe even like a Smart, like I
I just
Miami.
don't think that he's the same guy that when they went to the championship. He's not that same player.
I mean, he came out and dropped 33 in the first game. He was balling. The second game, he only had 16. I mean, I like the aggressiveness. I think I agree right now. Like, I still don't think he's fully healthy. I think he can win you a game or two in the series. But, yeah, you're not going to be able to count on him night in and night out.
That's why I said he's washed, and health factors in you being washed because you get older, you're more susceptible to injuries. So that's why I say that he's washed. It happens. That's why I said that he isn't the same player that he was.
Watch doesn't necessarily mean trash.
Yes, it does. See, y'all trying to act like form of disrespect. Wash is disrespectful, bro.
You're saying you're not what you were. You're not what you were. It's not. You're not trash.
So
some niggas do get trash when they get washed though, but.
So what if all right, so but I feel like it's so easy to get marked as unwashed. Like if he comes out and he's averaging 24, 25 points this series, and he's actually holding it down, would you still look at him as washed?
I just I don't see any like explosiveness really. Like I don't know.
So they'd have to win the series and him ball for you to look at him as potentially.
I'm not using this series as a measuring stick for Chris Middleton. This isn't the series to do that. In my opinion. In my humble opinion.
You want to see how he measures up against Celtics or ill defenders, you're saying.
Exactly. That's where I'm at with it.
And the Cavs and it's like you don't have like a pulse on that series.
I got Cleveland to take it.
What they had 79 points yesterday?
Yeah, that was ugly. What was that? Let me check. Friday's game. Yeah, it was 79-99.
That's gross.
I had New York winning now. I think New York probably even wins this next one, but I think Cleveland gets them back to back. I still think it's going 7 back to Cleveland, but that's been nip and tuck series.
I mean, you kind of just look at it and it just, Darius Garland can't have what he can't have that.
What happened? What did he? What did he do? Nothing. I didn't even watch
10
that.
points, 4 for 21, 10 points.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, Donovan Mitchell is the only person to score over 20, and I mean, obviously at 79 points, but that's not gonna get it done. That's not gonna get it done, and maybe Cleveland was a bit overrated. I don't know. It seems
I mean,
to be a theme. It seems to be a theme with Donovan Mitchell-led teams.
Damn.
I mean, let's see how the series goes. I mean, we all picked this one to go 6 or 7. Like this one, I feel like just looking at the numbers, this one has the most 6s and 7s. Like none of us had 5 games. So I think we all expected a tight one, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, is Randall good?
That series has been a tough watch, honestly.
I know I saw did y'all see the Randall injury? Like he didn't get injured, but like the play with Jared Allen when they kept the starters in the game late, like the Knicks had the game won. Or not Jared Allen. Yeah, Jared Allen. Why was I thinking he's still on the Nets? But he like kind of did a weird late attempt to block a Randall dunk, and that led to Randall kind of falling on his back, similar to Giannis. Did y'all see that play or no?
Nah.
Nah, I didn't.
It's just been a physical series, and I don't know. I wonder if how that wear and tear is gonna impact people, but yeah.
And,
I haven't been watching it closely, but I've been hearing that Jalen Brunson has been getting pretty beat up too. So I got to tune into that series.
it looks like Denver is just coasting.
That's
I would say with you looking at the Timberwolves, I think that the reason why they traded for Gobert was they were trying to be tougher. Because they also looked for defense because if you look at their last series last year with the Grizzlies, how many games did they blow, with big leads and stuff like that. So that was kind of it, but I think it was a overreaction to one series. And it was an overreaction. Granted, you couldn't really see Gobert and Towns, fully together, but it was just always just an odd pairing because with someone like Towns, you wanted to have maybe more of a tweener type of guy, a tweener 4 or 5 type of guy, not strictly, a 5 guy where now you're clogging the paint.
Right.
And also, I mean, I think they may have been better off. I mean, Walker Kessler was not bad. He actually was a rookie of the year candidate.
Could have just played him.
That's what I'm saying. Like when you look at the grand scheme of things, you're just like, did you really need to make that trade? And you're talking about
he's had games with like 7 blocks. Like 6, 7 blocks,
I mean, and then what you gave up as far as and if you wanted to trade, guys like Vanderbilt or, whoever else was in that trade, you could have, possibly moved them. But I just don't think that what you gave up, really, that's why I think that it kind of just like messed up trade wise because it was like you gave all these pieces and draft picks for this guy, and you saw the players had an anonymous survey, and and people, question Rudy Gobert. They say, he blocks a couple shots, but what else does he do, really?
It's funny because when you think about it, they had back-to-back because they had Russell, they had Vanderbilt. Did they also have Beasley on that team?
Yeah, Beasley.
Damn, so they gave away all of that, and like that's two huge bad trades. Like even if they would have just still had Russell and Beasley and whatever, like and Vanderbilt, you got a much more formidable team, a deeper team.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, that's and if you look at yesterday, they had maybe 11 points from the bench.
Yeah, just Kyle Anderson. Well, 10 points between Kyle Anderson and Prince.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just look at their team and I just sit there and say, I don't know. I just wonder, like, should they, that trade, when you look at how much they gave up for the player that they gave up, it wasn't like it was a Kevin Durant or something like that, where it's like,
Rudy
okay,
Gobert.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was just like, and then you look at the contract he gave, it was just like, the Jazz were like, I know that they're the new regime. Danny Ainge was like, hell yeah, we'll do this. Thank you.
Like,
Do you want us to?
Okay.
Yes, we'll do this trade. And I'm pretty sure that they're fine. They're happy where they are, especially with what they got and Walker Kessler. I feel like he would have been a great addition to the Timberwolves, and what else they would have had, like if they wanted to trade Russell or whoever. But even like to your point, Dal, as far as in that their third store, I don't know if it's because of Cat wanted him, but their affinity for D'Angelo Russell it cost them a lot. Because if you remember, like they traded picks that ended up being, lottery picks in the Andrew Wiggins trade.
Damn.
And for them to get, D'Angelo Russell back. So it was just kind of just like, y'all catapulted the Warriors into, because Wiggins was a big part of their championship last year and, still a big part of their team now. And then you gave them, lottery picks. I just think that you just look back at the last couple of years and it's like, you wonder why this team is where they are. I mean, sometimes you just they gotta look in the mirror.
Yeah, their GM, Tim Connolly, they could probably use a different guy in his shoes.
I could have told you not to do that Rudy Gobert trade.
I mean, yeah, any normal high schooler.
Bro, exactly. Unless you're trying to like sabotage the franchise, I don't know why you
like what were you thinking? I mean, wow. So they for Rudy Gobert, they sent Malik Beasley, Kessler, and Jared Vanderbilt with some other players. That's crazy. Damn. They gave up the ship for him. And then still ended up losing D'Angelo Russell. Yeah, that's terrible. Can we talk about the Dylan Brooks situation specifically too? Which is just wild to me. I don't understand where that disrespect is coming from. Maybe he's trying to, I don't know what is going on with that. I'm just like, it's just wild. It's these young dudes these days, man. It's crazy.
I mean, so I think Wendy made a good point. Whether or not it works, probably not, because LeBron is a pretty smart basketball player, but he said they want to try to turn Bron into a scorer because that will work in their favor. Whereas he's not getting the others involved. They think they have a better chance to win with him scoring 40 instead of him getting like, a 25, 11, and 9 type game. Like, so I think that made sense to me of why Dylan is doing his shit. But I mean, hey, I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it.
Yeah, any disrespect to the king, of course.
Nah, it's like, I mean, okay, you could look at it as disrespect. I just look at it as like, nigga, we here. Like, we ain't scared, nigga. Like, I don't care if you're LeBron, nigga. What the fuck? Nigga, we here.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to
Yeah.
get on my
I
knees.
Nah, like do your thing on the court in between the lines. That's great. But now you're crossing the line where you're going to the media saying he's old. I don't respect no one unless they give me 40. He ain't the same guy he was in my like that. That's where he fought. All the stuff on the court, love to see it. Like, but keep it classy and pull the Tom Brady and be like, oh, we're just out there playing basketball. You giving fuel, you feeding the fire. Okay, you want to poke the bear, you poke him. You don't even know what you're getting yourself in for.
You want to pour honey on him, on himself.
I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron come out and gives like 30 plus points in a triple double, 35-point triple double, 50 and 12. Like,
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the thing that this is what I don't get, and I think it's a full of hypocrisy. LeBron's already heard it.
Okay.
All right. Can you hear me better?
Yeah.
No, LeBron's already heard it. Like the Tom Brady stuff is nonsense. Tom Brady was talking shit all game and then peppers you up, this or that. Like, let's stop the nonsense. The players know. The thing is that there's an image that you're trying to create within, a narrative with the media where if you look at Brady, he's talking trash where like, I don't think that what Dylan, Brooks did was wrong. I mean, he just so put his name out there more opposed to, he said this already, LeBron, stare down. He got a reaction out of LeBron. Him yelling, on the bench, and I think what did LeBron say? Did he call him a fucking bum or something?
That's a win. That's a win, Brooks. Honestly,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know if anyone would disagree with LeBron's statement though, but yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
You're a fucking bum.
Damn, he's like, all right, word, acknowledge me, nigga.
Yeah, I wouldn't want. That's not the acknowledgement I would want. Like, I mean, I guess that's technically a win for him, but like, bro, it ain't that much of a win. He called you a fucking bum, and now he's probably gonna dominate the rest of the series. But okay.
I mean, let's see. Let's see. I mean,
come on, bro. Really?
Let's see.
Do y'all have any doubt LeBron and the Lakers are gonna win this series and LeBron's gonna ball? Do y'all have any doubt?
I don't think the series. I think this series can go either way. Honestly, I think it can still go either way. It's not. Let's not forget this is a 2-7 matchup. Like,
and this is probably why they shouldn't be fueling the fire.
Granted, it's not. Are the Lakers your traditional 7 seed? Maybe not. They came on towards the end, but it is a 2-7 series. Let's not like act like the Lakers just got it wrapped up. Like, I wouldn't go that far. I still see it going 7. What if the Grizzlies win tonight?
That would be crazy. That would be wild.
Back at square one. And it's like the media. It was how the media swings. Every game they're so fickle. Fickle. That's the word, nigga.
How soon they forget? The man won a chip like 3 seasons ago.
3 years ago. That's not that recent.
Bro, Dylan Brooks, you haven't even made it to the finals. Like how soon they forget. Like you just gotta keep reminding people at the end of the day. You gotta that's the ill thing about basketball. Like some random dude can come out and call you out and be hype, and it's up to you to ball. It's up to you to, you know what I mean, cut that loose. I actually have bets on the Lakers winning this chip. They're like plus 1,000 right now to win the chip and like plus 550 to get out the West. So I've got those dabbles in.
I mean, hey, it's I mean, I would say good luck, but
It's only $15 I put down on each of those. I was in for it. And I put 15 on the Celtics to get out the East, but we'll see. Okay, I think that covers everything unless there was another topic. I mean, there are the NFL suspensions. We didn't talk about the play-in reaction, but how y'all feeling?
So what do you think about the NFL suspensions that you was just talking about gambling? It seems like it looks like with Jameson Williams, the suspension that he got, it seems like he was betting basically on company Wi-Fi.
What?
That's idiotic. Huh?
So,
What?
but I mean, how can a team that has a sports book in your stadium and NFL sits there and, oh, this is a proud partner of the NFL and et cetera, sit there and say, okay, the players can't gamble? It sounds it's a little hypocritical, especially if it's in a situation where it's like, okay, football betting is off limits. Okay, fine.
I think it's a slippery slope because, like, so all right. So you're saying they should be able to gamble? Should they be able to gamble on football? Like,
football is off limits.
But how do you separate that? Like, you can't just be like, oh, you can gamble on every sport. Like, how who's monitoring that? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's a slippery.
I mean, they obviously monitor it in some way.
Like,
I mean,
like
obviously they found out.
If you did like an 8-leg parlay and 7 of the legs are NBA, and then and then one of them is football. Like, who? I don't know.
I mean, they found a way. How did they find out that Calvin Ridley was, betting on football in Florida?
Yeah. Yeah. I
mean,
don't know.
They.
What do you need to gamble for? You're a millionaire.
What do you mean?
I mean, that's just I don't know.
Rush. It's a play. Those dudes play card games in the air, bro.
I'm it's sports. Like,
I look at it and just like, okay. The thing is that the lawyer says that the rules were permitted. Like basically, if he wasn't at the facility, he would have been in the clear. But it just, location was a bad factor. So I just wonder, like, I guess maybe the rule is that you can't gamble while you're at work.
Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy though, because I do think they're hammering down too hard. So some of those suspensions are 3 games, I think, or some of them are 1 year, some are 6 games, but then like more in Cephas, like whatever their names are, they won't be playing for the Lions anymore. First of all, I don't like that it's a lot of people on one team because they fire people in the organization too. But those players, after their suspensions were announced, they're also released. So it's like you get suspended and you lose your job. And it's like some of them got less games because they were betting on college football, but it's also betting in an NFL facility is an issue. So like if you're betting, even though you could, let's say you can bet the NBA when you're at home, you can't bet it when you're on an NFL facility. So it's like, damn.
I just think that with the sports books and a lot of this stuff being open, you're gonna open yourself up to, I guess, new territory. and things like this. And I feel like I think that this process, I think it's going to, end up being tweaked or, however. But it sucks for the guys who may have been saying, "Oh, I wasn't betting on." They looked at Calvin Ridley and was just like, "Okay, I'm not going to make the same mistake he did. I'm not going to bet on the NFL." And then you're just like, "I wasn't even doing that, and still I got popped for it." And guys who are fringe NFL players look at the now you get suspended. The team's like, "All right, you're cut. You're gone."
Right. They didn't cut Williams, did they?
Nah, but it's crazy because like you didn't have him all year last year because of an ACL injury. You traded up 20 spots to get him, and now he's on all of 2023 or at least 6 weeks of 2023. Like, damn.
Yeah, and also with I know that we're good time, but next week you have the draft coming up, and wide receiver became a sneaky need for the Lions.
Right.
They lost. If you look at their room now, they have Amon St. Brown. They have they had Williams. You have to take him out of it. Who do they have? Marvin Jones and Josh Reynolds.
Yep.
What about their number one receiver? Who was their number one receiver again?
That was St. Brown.
Yeah,
St. Brown.
He's not there anymore.
No, you have. I said him first. He's the first one. They have three. They have three receivers, and then you still need tight end help.
Right.
So you were looking, and then because they lost DJ Chark, I mean he was injured, but they still lost him. Jameson Williams, who came on at the end. Now it's more so like you're looking at it as like they need help at that wide receiver position, and I would expect them to attack that position in a draft because this injury is 6 games is a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
6 games.
Yeah, that is crazy. 4 of their players and people in the organization. That sucks. So it seems like if you bet NFL games, it's 1 year. If you don't bet NFL games and you're at a facility, that's when they hit you with like lesser suspensions. But you can't do it on the practice facility. That's one of any of their facilities.
Okay. So I guess that's a lesson to be learned to all players. Don't touch anything near the facilities at all.
I mean,
don't.
The thing is, the NFL, to my knowledge, has always been hard on gambling. If anything, they're going harder now because we got we got a friend that went to Boston last week. I don't know if you ever met him, Dozy or Rick, but his name is Dozy. He worked for the NFL for like 6 years, had an ill job with them. Would get to work Super Bowls and Pro Bowls, but like he could never play fantasy football. Like he could do it with other people at the NFL, but he could never join a fantasy league outside of the NFL, which I thought was the weirdest rule. I mean, I guess I get it. You maybe have insider information advantage, but how is like you playing fantasy gonna have any negative impact? I don't know.
Oh, wait, so he only could play with NFL buddies, not.
Yeah, he couldn't play fantasy football outside of like any company league, which I just
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
State tried to get him in our leagues.
That's crazy. I mean, you look at the NFL, they still because even if you go back to the CBA with the NBA, they took out weed testing, where I think the NFL it's still. I don't know if the NFL I don't think came out and just said, okay, we're done. We're not testing for weed anymore. I don't think they ever did that.
I mean, damn. Speaking of, you got dudes like Josh Gordon, who's actually, I don't know if he's balling in the XFL. I know he's playing, but dudes like that would have had a whole different career trajectory.
Could be a Hall of Famer, Damn near.
It's just, if you let the man smoke his little weed, he might have been in the Hall of Fame. Like,
Oh,
that's crazy.
I mean, shoot, people keep talking about Josh Gordon, but what about Ricky Williams?
Ricky Williams.
Like,
I feel like he still had a good career though. Like, I feel like his career wasn't this short.
But you're talking about, good. He could have had a Hall of Fame career if you just let him deal with. If you just let him drink weed, smoke weed.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let me look at Josh Gordon's XFL stats.
Wow. How did we get here?
Right. He plays for the Sea Dragons. Oh, wow. Okay. He has 7 catches, 107 yards, and a touchdown, averaging 15 yards a catch. But that's only 2 games.
2 games?
What?
6 catches, 74 yards, and a touchdown in the first game. Okay. Well, yeah. Damn, you could do fantasy with these guys. That's crazy. I didn't know that. That would be cool. XFL fantasy.
So I got I know that we're like, what if I got a question? Do you think that the college, the best college team could be an XFL team?
Probably.
I don't. What do you think, D?
I would say so. Alabama versus an XFL team. Yeah, I'm taking Alabama.
I don't know, cause like now I think the new revitalized XFL is on a different level. Now you talk about the U.S. Football League, whatever that is. Okay, we're talking, but I think the XFL, they've rebranded so strong. You got a lot of former players and coaches in the XFL. So these are actually, a lot of these dudes are former, like Wade Phillips is a head coach. So
Okay.
I'm gonna say that XFL has it. But I think that other league, the US Football League, I think maybe that one they'd have a better chance.
Okay. I'll say this. I don't think so. I think that we see when you watching like when you watch XFL, you're looking at these castaway, these bums. There are a lot of bums on these teams as well. There's a lot of guys. Everybody from Alabama don't go in the NFL and be stars.
Right.
So I think
that the XFL would win.
Yeah.
Okay.
But is this
I think
the best college team versus any XFL team, like versus the worst XFL team, or just in general?
I'm saying in general.
Yeah.
I just look at I think that the psyche of people, they look at the college players and they say, oh, he's a good player. How many top prospects flame out? How many of some of them top prospects are in the XFL right now? Sometimes with the XFL it's a numbers game. Some of these guys who got to get veteran contracts, the owners are gonna say, I'd rather pay young college kids rather than giving, even if it's for the vet minimum. So some of these guys are, they're screwed out of it, and it becomes a numbers game. And it's not because of, let's say, lack of talent. It's more so like, okay, I don't want to pay him, because he's a vested veteran. I just look at it like, I think that these guys if they're not, I don't know. I just think that a lot of people like that stupid convo that used to be, could the best the best college team beat the, no, they could not beat the NFL.
No. Come on.
like that used to be silly, but I just think that the bullets and all of that is so live, and that's why when that's why it's kind of funny when people talk about like Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett was out there 25 years old playing against 18, 19, 20-year-olds. And it was just like, you should be, good enough.
Yeah,
I guess I didn't know, like Del was saying, I just thought this was all like washed, like bums, basically. Like I didn't realize it was like actually players that are capable of playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
This is not.
Nah,
this
these
is
ain't.
like
This ain't like the last version where they
Yeah.
got like the he hate me gimmicks. Even though he actually made it to the NFL. But like I'm looking at some of the names. I don't really know the stars, but like I feel like some of these names ring a bell. Like Cody Latimer, right? He was a tight end.
yeah,
Darius
Wasn't he a wide
Shepard,
receiver? Oh,
yeah, he was a
Cody.
wide receiver.
AJ
But he
McCarron,
Mhm.
Paxton Lynch, Brett
Okay.
Hundley. So there's a lot of former NFL guys, and I'm just going through like Cam Sutton, Eli Rogers. I'm just going through guys that lead the league in certain passing, rushing, and receiving. Some of the big names. So they got talent this time around for sure.
Well, I guess niggas trying to find their way back.
I mean, Josh Gordon, he's like 32. Yeah, if he could ball, like he could have another 3 to 5 year stint in the NFL, maybe 3 years if he got it together. But I mean, Martavius Bryant, like, damn, I thought he was still doing
What
fine
happened
in the
to,
NFL.
what happened to him? Like I know he's in the
Right.
NFL, but what happened?
Like,
How
I
did he
don't
end
know.
up? He was a freak.
Wasn't he on the Steelers, right?
He was a monster at a point.
Yeah, like you never know what. Like, yeah,
I mean, I knew he had like I don't know if it was drugs or whatever, but yeah. Man. Is there a game about to come on?
I think there's a game on right now. I'm like trying to
No,
understand. There's an
the
NBA
Nets,
game coming on.
the Nets and the Sixers is about to come on.
Yeah, it looks like there's an XFL game on right now. If anybody's interested, but yeah, I don't. Second quarter, Orlando Guardians versus St. Louis Battlehawks. I mean, yeah. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody.
But it looks like we got a slate of four NBA games on today.
Yeah. And I think Brooklyn takes this one. I wouldn't bet on this one just because they're down 3-0. Maybe they could smell some blood and opportunity, but I think they win in this one for pride. Like Embiid's out. This is the game you gotta win, honestly.
Somebody said if you go to the Clippers game, because they showed the Clippers and the get-in price for each game, they were just like, just go to the Clippers game and just hide in the stall.
until the Lakers play.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it was like the get-in price for like the Clippers game was like $59, and the Lakers was like $2-something.
Wow.
That's funny.
That would be smart. This is their last chance to do it because they're opening up a new stadium next year, the Clippers.
Oh wow, their own.
It's gonna be like a huge, it's like $1 billion building. So it's gonna be the Intuit Dome because TurboTax bought the naming rights. So it'll be the Intuit Dome. I'm actually excited to see that, like a new LA stadium, because the Staples Center, it's cool, it's historic, but it's old. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
I mean, the crypto.com arena, my fault. It's,
Is that the same building?
Yeah, it's the exact same. The naming rights changed. And I think technically Staples had been us the naming rights a couple of years prior, just no one bought it. And so they just kept calling it Staples. But now crypto took it over. So yeah, this is your last postseason to be able to do the trick in the stalls. Might as well.
But I just look at it. Like, I mean, I feel the same way as far as in like, it sucks because like you don't want to keep building the stadium every 20 years, and also you talk about land and development and stuff like that. Because I feel the same way with the Celtics. That stadium is really outdated.
Yeah.
It's really outdated. Like I went to the Hawks game a couple years ago, and it was just like, oh, the seats was way more comfortable. The experience, even just walking around, felt more modernized.
Yeah.
Like a stadium being built, arena being built like 1999. It's 2023, and it's just like you just look at other stadiums that being built, whether it's football or basketball, and they just put those stadiums to shame. Just like technology changes that much.
Right.
But
I agree because like Boston just felt old, like the whole setup around TD Garden until what, maybe the last 3 years. Right now they got Tits over there. They got the whole market area with all the different restaurants, which is fire. But like they should have been had that. Why? Like you would like you've seen other teams developing that over the last 15, 20 years. But I mean, hey, better late than never.
yeah, but even still, those are just like from the viewing. I'm pretty sure the owners would love to have, because with the Celtics, the Bruins owner actually owns the stadium, I mean
Okay.
arena. So I know they would rather have their own, but when you have a developed city, you're gonna run into an issue with like a lot of teams do, where the team doesn't play in that actual town, city, or whatever it is. So I think that's kind of the bigger issue.
Mm.
So
But
go
I
ahead.
said, all right, that's all I got.
That's all I got. You got anything else, D?
Nah, I think we're good, man.
It's a good
All right.
episode. We'll drop right before the what is it? The Suns and Nets play. They kick off in 2 minutes. I said Suns, the Sixers and Nets. But this was episode 12 of Sports and Layers. Till next time, y'all. Peace.
All right.